interesting to me because I've not heard it expressed this way in quite some time. Several people came up to me and said, let me get $10 worth of tickets. Now, I mean, that's somebody who grew up eating belonging. You know, because I think about belonging, I go to the store and get a certain amount of $5 worth of belonging. I'm not a mathematician, but $5 worth of tickets, that's 5 tickets. Y'all said, just ask for 5 tickets. I'm good. They don't come in halves. Just ask for 5 tickets. You give me the $5, I'll give you 5 tickets. Okay. Okay. Like I'm gonna win the ticket. Like I'm gonna give you $5 worth of tickets and win. Okay. So we're gonna keep it going. Keep it going alive. I ain't even know. At this time, we're going to have the introduction of our speaker for tonight, which is going to be presented by our very own chapter president, Brother Thomas A. Randolph. Thank you, thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. Richard, I asked you to bring that up for a reason. Oh, you sure. We got, I just want to let the people on this side of the room know, this is our money vote. This is what we got so far. We're looking to double it. So the lucky winner is going to get half what's in this vote. We got 20, we got 50, we got 10s, we got 1s, we got 5s. So the vote is going to be over the corner. Scholarships. We look forward to seeing you guys over there. All right, that's what we got so far. And we'll give you a total. We'll give you a running total as the night goes on. But I just wanted you to see that it's working. It's working. All right? Without any further ado right now, we're going to get the program started because we got to take care of quite a few things tonight. So, our president, Michael Crystal, has a goal of a trilogy for change for our fraternity. By making special efforts to invest in our brotherhood by encouraging each brother to embrace our long-standing traditions and improve upon them. Among these are putting a greater emphasis on our work with the Sigma Beta clubs, resulting in nurturing these young men and minds with the creation of a global citizen who yearn to improve our communities. He's also looking to improve the life experience of our collegiate members, and we have several of those in the house tonight. Would you please stand, our collegiate members? By taking a more active role in supporting and mentoring them by using our slogan, My Brother's Keeper. It's a new day in SIGA. Brother Crystal was elected to the position of international president to push our fraternity to highly achieve at every level, making our membership and the communities that we serve to be the best that they can be. On a more personal note, Brother Crystal joined Kroger Company in 1985 as a management trainee in Memphis, Tennessee, giving him more than 30 years of experience in operations and merchandising. During his career with Kroger, his assignments have included store manager, category manager, merchandiser, GM coordinator for the corporate drug division, district manager in the Delta division, and director of retail operations for the Atlanta division, where he was responsible for 185 Kroger stores in Georgia, Eastern Alabama, and South Carolina. The Kroger Company recently promoted Brother Crystal to Vice President of Merchandising for the company's Quality Food Centers division. In his new role, Brother Crystal will be overseeing merchandising efforts and various efforts in the Western United States, concentrating in the Phoenix, Arizona area. In addition to his responsibilities at Kroger's and becoming the president of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated in 2017, he works with other organizations, including the UNCF, Youth Works, United Way, National Urban League, and the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. He's a family man, really enjoys spending his time with his wife. He's very proud of each of his kids. With no further ado, I bring to you our 35th International President, my brother, my friend, Brother Michael Crystal.
When I came in, I said, man, that podium looks kind of tall. A little height challenge. Good afternoon, or good evening. You know, I was saying to the brothers earlier, this is my 4th Founders Day speech. I started at Alpha Sigma in Washington, D.C. the first weekend in January. And then I went to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania the second weekend. And then I went home, Memphis, Tennessee on last weekend. And I was sharing this with the brothers last night here in Huntsville, and they said, you saved the best for last. And I said, yes, I did. You know, I have to give some recognition before I get into my remarks. You know, when you think about our fraternity and you think about the greatness of our fraternity, there are some key people that you have to recognize. Certainly, you have to recognize our state director, Brother J.T. Alexander. J.T. certainly excited for you to be here. You have to recognize our chapter president, Brother Tom Randolph. Certainly, thanks for those remarks, but more importantly, thanks for the friendship over the years and all that you do to advance the mission of Phi Beta Sigma here within Huntsville. But you know, that's really not enough, because when you really think about the fraternity, it's really about the brotherhood. And I travel, brothers like, and one brother asked me, he said, "Did you drive here from Phoenix, Arizona?" I was like, I didn't quite do that. I'd probably take me maybe 2 weeks to get up that road. But it was a long flight. I got in last night about 10:30. And if you travel for the fraternity, if you just travel in general, you're always looking for somebody to greet you because it's been a long flight and you're trying to get to that hotel and you really want to go to bed. And so I got down and I came down the escalator, and hats off to your airport. Very impressed with it. But I came down the escalator and I come down and I'm kind of pulling myself together. I got my bag and I'm kind of doing Michael, if you will. And I'm looking. I'm like, okay, who's picking me up? I'm like, I'm ready to go. No arrogance in that at all, but I'm ready to go because I've been flying all day. And I left Phoenix at 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. And so right when I was about to get concerned, Mo walked in. And Mo walked in and I'm calling his name out and I'm calling Walter out. Because as we got in the car, this is what I love about the fraternity. We just start talking like we've known each other forever. Hey man, what are you doing Friday? Oh, this year. Where'd you go to school? This. What are you doing professionally? This. And we just kept talking and kept talking. And then I told Tom, as I was flying in, because you can't come up here and speak and not have a fresh haircut, right? You just can't do that. So I told Tom, I said, hey man, I gotta get a haircut Saturday morning. And I need somebody to kind of help get me there. Mo took me to his barber. And as he took me to his barber, we just kind of drove around Huntsville. And you can't come to Huntsville and not go to Alabama A&M, right? You can't do that. And so we went out there, we saw the plot, saw the campus, saw the football stadium, and just felt a sense of awe and appreciation because it was really, 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 really nice. And then we just kept connecting. And I'm really telling that story because I think that's what our fraternity is really all about. And I'll talk more about that in my remarks. But I want you to join me in certainly recognizing the other brothers I called out. But join me in recognizing Brother Morris and Walter, if you don't mind. Great job. People don't have to be nice to you. They don't. They don't have to be nice to you. They can be courteous to you. They don't have to be nice to you. You know? And so I'm really appreciative of that. You know, there's one honor within our fraternity that we just don't give away, right? There's a lot of plaques, there's a lot of awards, there's a lot of recognition. But there's one honor within our fraternity you just have to absolutely earn. And tonight we're in the midst of one of those brothers who've earned that kind of an honor. In our fraternity we call it the National Distinguished Service Chapter. And the way it works in our chapter, in our fraternity is you have to get nominated by your chapter. Then it has to go to the regional conference, and the regional conference has to validate it. But it doesn't stop there. It has to go to our general board, and the general board has to sanction it. But again, it doesn't stop there. Then it has to go to our national conference, and all of the delegates assembled have to ratify it. And so it starts local, and it takes it all the way through. And so it's a position, an honor, that less than 200 brothers out of over 200,000 members, pretty esteemed position. Not too many people have it. But we're blessed tonight to have a brother who has earned it. And it's kind of personal for me because I've known this brother for a very long time. You know, professionally we call mentors, and inside of the fraternity, in many cases, we refer to brothers as mentors. This particular brother was actually regional director when I was a collegiate. I'm from Grenada, Mississippi, went to school at Mississippi State University, so I'm kind of like your neighbor. And I remember when I was a collegiate, I met this brother. I saw the name first, but I met this brother. And I've always had an affection for this brother. I always had a relationship with him. And extremely proud of him, not because he's in the DSC, I'm proud of him because of what he represents, what we seek in members who are members of the DSC. And I was talking to Mo and Walter about this last night. I said, hey, where's X? He said, oh, he's there. You're talking about number 161. He said, that's what we call him. I said, okay. Brothers and guests, join me in recognizing the Honorable William Fales, a member of our National Distinguished Service. You know, from our conception, Sigma has been a movement that solidified its position as a force for empowerment in 1920. Brother Charles Robert Samuel Taylor wrote in the fall 1959 edition of the Precedent magazine, and I quote, I wondered about our organization of Phi Beta Sigma. I wondered what would give it new life and inspiration. Sisters, of course. He went on to say, I'm grateful that I allowed the dreams of my mind, the meditation of my heart, to be expressed and to bear fruit. Our sorors are the fruit of my dreams. And for 98 years, the tree of Zeta Phi Beta has nourished the world through the sisters' relentless zeal for service. Zetas have been more than sisters to Sigma. Our sorors are advocates, supporters, and partners in all of our endeavors. And I think back to my years when I was a collegiate at Mississippi State University. Some of my fondest memories were the partnership I did with the sorors on community service. Certainly, Brother Fales, I certainly had a lot of fun, a lot of social experiences with the sorors. But you know, when I think about it though, whether Sigma or Zeta, it truly is all Phi Beta. Brothers, join me in recognizing our sorors of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'm honored to have Soror Ernestine Wilson, our regional director, here as well. Join me in recognizing Soror Wilson. So Sigma has entered its 104th year of impacting meaningful change within our communities. Founders Day 2018 holds a special place in my heart. This is the first Founders Day that I've been blessed to serve as your international president. This is a privilege I am most honored and receive with graciousness. You know, I shared with the brothers the other night, never in my most wildest dreams when I walked on the campus of Mississippi State University did I ever envision that I would be international president. It was never my desire, it was never my hope. But I also believed in the greatness of our fraternity. I always believed in the principles that our founders bestowed upon our fraternity, and I always believed that it was a quote, and the quote was this: a wise person once said, It's not what you're called, but what you answer to. And for me, I grew up in a single-parent home. If my father was to walk through that door right there, he'd just have to say, "Hi, Michael, I'm your dad." I never met my father. Never knew my father. But for me, I chose to answer a life of service, whether it was at home, within my community, or now at the helm of our great fraternity. I'm deeply humbled and thankful. I'm humbled because I'm the 35th Sigma to be elected international president. I'm excited and humble because it happened during my 35th anniversary within the fraternity. I'm thankful because I'm fortunate to have a strong support system. I've been blessed to be married 30 years. My wife has been a huge supporter on the campus of Mississippi State. When I joined in the spring of '82, that time she was my girlfriend, and she was actively engaged in helping me as we advanced the cause of Sigma on our campus. Blessed to have 3 beautiful children that I'm most proud of. My son, who's a member of the fraternity, joined in 2014. During that time, we referred to all brothers who joined the fraternity as Centennial Sigmas. So he's a Centennial Sigma. My daughter, who's been a super supporter, and certainly my son, as in my youngest son. But I'm also thankful for you. I'm thankful to the brothers who work tirelessly as a brotherhood of conscious men, actively serving our communities. Your commitment to our noble cause is the reason we will transform lives throughout this world. You know, I heard the call coming out of Conclave, Detroit. Our brothers were yearning for change. And brothers asked for a president who will guide Sigma with brotherhood first and business second, but no backroom dealings. And with that, I answered, and you elected me to be that change agent. A brother who is willing to put Sigma first and myself second. Like you, I love this fraternity. And because of that, my desire is to give the best to it. This administration is not about business as usual. We're about committing to make Sigma the premier fraternity in this entire world. We want our brothers to feel the same excitement that they felt when they crossed the burning sands. We want to empower you to leave your mark in Sigma and within your communities. Our brotherhood of conscious men actively serving our communities need you. Someone once said, "The darkest nights produce the brightest stars." These words capture the humble beginning that sparked the Sigma life. This Founders Day, I reflect on the vision of our most honorable founder, A. Langston Taylor, had in Memphis during the summer of 1910. He knew despite the racism and oppression black people faced in the United States, there was still hope in the horizon. Founder Taylor saw the infinite possibilities for positive impact a collective of educated and cultural men could make in their communities. After strategic planning on January the 9th, 1914, Founder Taylor, along with our most honorable founders, Charles R. Brown, Leonard F. Morris, and the remaining charter members, started a movement that has stood the test of time. As the principal founder, Honorable Brother Taylor was a valuable asset to Sigma, and perhaps his greatest contribution to our fraternity was his ability to see the bigger picture and enlist the help of conscious men who believed in the vision and would dedicate their lives to service for humanity. Though there were many obstacles that threatened our fraternity in its infancy, and times Sigma's future seemed somewhat bleak, Founder Taylor kept his faith and encouraged brothers to focus on the ray of hope represented by the fraternity's promise of raising men dedicated to saving lives and improving the human condition. Brothers, I urge you to keep the faith and focus on this administration's rallying call, a brotherhood of conscious men actively serving our communities. It is ingrained in our Sigma DNA to give of ourselves for the betterment of others. This is exemplified in our motto, culture for service and service for humanity. In order to advance our fraternity's mission, we must invest in our brothers. You are the #1 resource to which all the Phi Beta Sigma's initiatives will be executed. Now, some of you might be wondering, Brother President, how are you going to help us keep the faith? You know, that's an excellent question, and here's what the short answer looks like. For this administration, our vision, our hope is to keep you paramount. Every decision that we're making is rooted in how does it advance our chapters, How does it advance our members? And how does it advance our regions? You think about your Brother Sigma's experience. Your Brother Sigma experience is implementing initiatives that meet the needs of our multi-generational membership. Think about this room tonight. We got collegiates in the room. We got brothers who joined in the 80s, brothers who joined in the 90s, brothers who joined in the 60s. How, as a leadership team, we're connecting with that membership base. The strength of our brotherhood is vested in our desire to be kind and supportive towards each other. Now more than ever, under the unstable state of our country, Sigma men must care for each other. This is the only way we're going to truly impact our communities. My goal is to enhance the brotherhood experience of every Sigma man. Our mantra is brotherhood first. For it is the brothers that sustain Phi Beta Sigma, so it's the brothers who must remain our #1 priority. We have to do everything we can to enable you to become conscious brothers, conscious husbands, conscious professionals, conscious servant leaders within your community. And we have to do it in a way that it positions us to better our communities. So when you think about the question, is it going to be more than just brotherhood first? It's also got to be a conscious plan. Here's what your international leadership team did. We had a retreat on Howard's campus, the birthplace of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity. We did that during the fall. We sat down and we came up with 10 strategic initiatives that we would use to drive everything we would do within this fraternity. Those were the brotherhood experience, membership growth, finances, branding and marketing, technology, programming, policies and procedures, corporate and government partnerships, fundraising, and yes, training and development for our advisors. We didn't just stop there though. We left there and we had strategic planning meetings with our leadership team. I sat down with the International First Vice President to understand what we were going to do for membership growth. I sat down with the International Treasurer to understand what we were going to do to drive our finances. I sat down with our International Collegiate Leadership team to understand what resources we would provide for our collegiates to help advance them. And I sat down with our International Risk Manager to understand the work that we would be doing to mitigate risk management. We didn't stop there. We knew that brothers had a desire to really be engaged, and so we reached out. We asked brothers, if you wanted to give your skills, your talent, and your ability to help advance the cause, we wanted you to join our team. So we asked for brothers, and we had over 400 brothers to respond. 400 brothers willing to give their talent to advance the cause. You know, Honorable Taylor had a phrase he used back in the 1914, 1915 era. And his phrase was, come join the fun. Come join the fun. And he used that as a desire to really motivate brothers to come on board once they saw that the cause of the fraternity was being advanced. And so we're coining that phrase as well. We're saying, come join the fun, because we need every brother to make a difference as we advance the cause. We're appointing a Sigma Executive Leadership Council. We ask brothers, if you're part of a Fortune 500 company and you're serving in a senior leadership role, we want you to come on board and work with us. And we want you to come on board and work with us for 3 specific reasons. One is, your senior executives, partner with us to provide internships to our collegiates. Partner with us to provide meaningful and long-term employment for our young alumni. Partner with us on capturing corporate dollars that we can utilize to invest in our programmatic focus areas. And so we've been very intentional on recruiting those brothers and very excited about what that's going to take place for us. We appointed a brother, Dr. Ernie Hughes, who's a fundraising consultant, serves as our Director of Development. Brother Hughes has worked in development for over 30 years. And the 2 things he's going to do for us, we have 2 foundations. He's working with us on restructuring those foundations. And he's working with us so that we can advance opportunities, not just for government and corporate entities to invest in us, but we're also working to create an environment where our members can invest in us as well. And this one I'm extremely excited about. Brother Rafael Matos, serving as our International Director of our Sigma Leadership Academy. Brother Matos is working in partnership with our collegiates to create the environment that we can provide 3 levels of development: personal development, professional development, and Sigma development. Our goal is to create our Leadership Academy to be the premier personal development academy within the fraternity and sorority community. But we also looked at our international headquarters too. And we looked at it with the intent as what type of infrastructure do we need to advance the cause of the fraternity. One of our goals was to enhance and promote Phi Beta Sigma's brand globally. Right before the holidays, many of you might have seen, we relaunched our website. And we relaunched it with an opportunity to really advance a better connection within our community. But you know, our cause and our desire of really driving consciousness doesn't stop just on the fraternal side. It also works within our communities. We continued our commitment to Sigma's global stance as we partnered with the Congressional Black Caucus Legislative Conference. You know, we did Real Talk there, and we had the Honorable Congressman John Lewis to serve on the panel. We had Brother Joe Madison to serve on our panel. We had Dr. Sidney McPhee, President of Middle Tennessee State University, to serve on our panel. And we had Brother Chris Ray, International Director of Social Action, but more importantly, Brother Ray is a former mayor of Spring Lake, North Carolina. The centerpiece of that discussion was, what can we as a fraternity do to advance issues that really focus on the African American male and create a better environment within our communities? What we were most excited about is we streamed that. We had over 50,000 people to witness our discussion within the United States, within the United Kingdom, as well as within Canada. I've talked about the fraternity. I've talked about what we're doing nationally, but our involvement on the national scene is important. We're determined now more than ever to live out our founders' lives and really being a catalyst for change within our local communities. The type of community engagement that is the hallmark of Phi Beta Sigma, which will further advance our trilogy of change. Our trilogy of change says to us that we're going to really focus on advancing a better life for our Sigma Beta Club. We're going to advance a better life for our young collegians. And as we do that, we're going to create an opportunity where they become great servant leaders within our communities. We have a long-standing tradition of a Sigma Beta Club. And our Sigma Beta Club really creates the best opportunity for us to drive that home. I want you to take a moment to reflect on the following. Nationwide, African American children represent 32% of the children who are arrested. 32% of the children who are arrested. 42% of the children who are detained, and 52% of the children whose cases are judicially waived to the criminal courts. Many brothers are not surprised about me talking about statistics. When I was vice president of the fraternity, I spent a lot of time focusing on analytics. But today, those numbers are very important. But to me, I want to focus on a different metric. We're looking at research that tells us that children have a better chance of being successful if they have someone pouring love within them at a very young age. Providing a positive image for them to emulate, and having our Sigma Beta Club having conscious professionals serving as positive role models to help them within their communities, but more importantly, to help enhance them. You know, our Sigma Beta Club members, they travel with us to our conferences. We help them prepare for college, and we expose them to cultural and educational experiences that really help with their edification. But most importantly, we show them unconditional love and teach them what it means to selflessly give of themselves to uplift other people. You know, children today are growing up in an environment where instant gratification is the norm and self-indulgence is the guiding principle. It is our duty to lovingly challenge their young minds, help them grow and become global citizens who yearn to improve their communities. And it's for that reason one of our #1 focus areas is to provide development for our young African American males. And that is going to be the centerpiece of this administration programmatic focus area, and that is our Sigma Beta Clubs. We have an excellent director, Brother Janaba Williams out of New Jersey, who's been doing some excellent work on partnering with our chapters on capturing great data, putting together great programs, and going to solidify that through a great national conference that we're going to have in New Orleans during July. You know, the second pillar is of our trilogy of change is supporting our collegiate brothers. And I want to really talk a little bit about our collegiate brothers as we think about their journey through life. And I want us to think about ourselves, because those of us who are really seasoned in the bond, sometimes we tend to forget what it's like to be young adults. The trials, the temptations, and yes, the successes. We see outstanding men who are collegians having the potential to become, but sometimes we overlook who they currently are. Who are they? They're young people finding their way in the world, searching for proper guidance and navigating through their surroundings. I call upon all alumni brothers to bear this in mind and avoid the common pitfall of well-meaning brothers, allowing your desire to push our collegiates forward, but blinding them to the fact that they might not get there just yet. You know, we enter into the lives we're destined to come on our time, not your time. It happens a lot quicker for some. And while we pride ourselves in the services we provide to our various communities, there is no greater service within the bond of Sigma than being our brother's keeper. We must actively empower our young Sigma brothers to take on leadership roles within our organizations and prepare them to serve in our communities. It is our duty to care for each other as brothers, for we are truly our brother's keeper. Our third pillar and our final pillar is vested in our active involvement in our communities and our ability to connect our youth and collegians with opportunities to engage as servant leaders. As conscious men, we must thoughtfully engage with the issues of the day. We must address inequalities. We must look at areas that impact our community, but not just impact. It must be long-term and it must be sustainable. You know, there's an African proverb that says, a family is like a forest. When you're outside, it is dense. When you're inside, you see that each tree has its place. Since our fraternity's inception, Sigma has welcomed men of varying talents and skills and provided them with a home to grow and hone their abilities for the betterment of others. Every brother has a place in Sigma. Every brother has a place in Sigma. And that place comes with opportunities to contribute to the greater good. And it's imperative that we include our collegiate brothers in that development. Some come to Sigma with great skills. Imagine the possibilities when we tap into their skills from the moment they enter into the bond. Everyone benefits exponentially. Others join Sigma and may be average in organizing ability. That is the important opportunity for us to recognize that, create the opportunities to advance it, give them an opportunity to grow through leadership, and do that inside the fraternity so that they can advance their will as they work within our community. Brothers, our goal is to grow Phi Beta Sigma fraternity strategically and remembering that our most valuable resource is you. A brotherhood of conscious men actively serving our communities is more than a theme. It's an affirmation of our duty to live purposeful lives, and as long as we're living that, it's also to be kindred souls dedicated to advancing the human race. From the countless black men, the countless black women murdered by the same people sworn to protect them, to the oppressive policies enacted by the current U.S. presidential administration, now more than ever, Sigma men must be ever vigilant and intentional in our effort to heal our people. We must remain steadfast in our enactment of our founders' vision, a vision supported by our principles, brotherhood, scholarship, and service, a vision powered by our belief in culture for service and service for humanity. Brothers, there's much work to be done. There's much work to be done. As I stand before you, I am more determined and more in awe and believing that the work that we have to do will most prepare to deliver it. I leave you with this. In the words of our very own brother, Dr. Huey P. Newton, we will touch God's heart. We will touch the people's heart. And together, we will move mountains. May God bless Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. May God bless Beta Epsilon Sigma. And may God bless this United States. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I mean, no words. Well, two words. Mighty power. Mighty power. Oh. worth the ticket.
Well, what are the brothers in the blue jacket over here have money, please?
Thank you, thank you. We'll use this time just to collect the money. Anybody who wants to donate to the money vault, before we make the announcement as to how much is in it, just hold your money up. One of the brothers in the blue jacket will come and get it, and they'll meet us at the table. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, brothers and sisters in attendance, please give Brother Crystal another round of applause. At this particular time, I'm going to do a small recognition briefly, but I know in your program it says President's Moments. But as president of Beta Epsilon Sigma, I did reach out to each Divine Nine member of our distinguished panel of council. And I'm going to share my presidential moment with either the president of the Divine Nine or one of their representatives. So at this particular time, I would like to ask, starting with the National Panel Living Council President, to come up and say a few words, but please keep it brief because we're mindful that we have a lot of things going on as far as the program, and I know nobody in the room is not going to leave until we do Moneyball. So we ask that you do keep your words or your greetings or your introductory words down to a minute. Okay, 60 seconds. Please be courteous. I would greatly appreciate it because I have to have my second wife come up and tap on the shoulder. He's a mean fellow. So at this particular time, I will yield the floor to our panel living council president, Sarah Benjamin.
To all national, regional, state, and local officers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, to all national, regional, state, and local officers of my sorority, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, to all national, regional, state, and local officers of my fellow Divine Nine members, greetings. I am Dr. Talantine Benjamin, President of the National Panhellenic Council of North Alabama, and on behalf of the Council, I want to congratulate my brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated on 104 years of culture for service and service for humanity. Thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to your continued support and participation on the National Panhellenic Council of North Alabama. Again, thank you for recognizing that the Council, united, we are stronger together.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, we will have a representative from Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Sometimes you will never know the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. We are celebrating moments here that will bring about our memories. Good evening to our President, Michael Crystal of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Mary Bro White, the President of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, to our Regional Director, Roy Edmonds, in his absence, to our State Director, Jared Alexander of Phi Beta Sigma, and Calandra Jones McDonald, our right hand here in Alabama. Friends, fellow Greeks, and guests, we congratulate Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, our constitutionally bound brothers of Phi Beta Sigma, on their 104th anniversary of their inception. On behalf of our international president, Mary Bro Wright, we bring you greetings, we say Godspeed, and God bless. We have a little token of our appreciation for our international president of Sigma and our state director of Alabama. We appreciate this chapter for all that you're doing in this area. Thank you.
Brother Crystal, please.
On behalf of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, not only national, but regionally the unconquerable South Central region, and the awesome state of Alabama, please accept this token of appreciation for attending. Brother Alex. On behalf of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, the unconquerable South Central region, and the awesome state of Alabama, please accept this token of appreciation. And it's wonderful that you are my cohort in the state of Alabama. And not only that, but we are almost related birthday-wise, so happy birthday on tomorrow. And my birthday is actually on Monday, so we share more than just January in Alabama. So you're
on behalf of the Delta Omega Zeta chapter here in Huntsville, Alabama, the international president, I want to just say thank you. That was so wonderful. And Tom, thank you all, family.
Brother Crystal. And on behalf of the Psi Alpha Zeta chapter in Madison, Alabama, this is a token of our appreciation.
Thank you, ladies. Next, we'll have a representative from Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Anybody here?
I guess you couldn't miss the pink dress, right? Good evening. My name is Tanisha Lewis, and I bring you greetings on behalf of the 84 members of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Rho Chi Omega Chapter, and our president, Mrs. Robin Miller. We want to congratulate the men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated on 104 years of brotherhood, scholarship, and service. We appreciate the opportunity to celebrate this momentous occasion with you and are honored to stand with you and support you in your efforts to serve this great community. Your longevity is to be commended, and we are proud to work with you as you make a difference in the lives and well-being of the children and the less fortunate, both locally and globally. Again, congratulations on your 104 Founders Day, and we look forward to working with you and soaring with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Next, we'll have a representative from Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. All right. Next, we'll have a representative from Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Never doubt that a group of conscious, committed, and concerned citizens can change the world. To Mr. Michael Crystal, 35th International President, Mr. Tom Randolph, President, members of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, my Divine Nine brothers and sisters, family and friends of Sigma, good evening. I bring you greetings on behalf of the 345 members of the Huntsville Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I am Jackie Perry, President. We congratulate you on this 104th Founders Day celebration. We all know our organizations play a pivotal role in invoking change that improves the welfare in our communities. As you highlight your social action this evening, we commend you and stand with you as you continue to bring awareness to injustices and inequalities, yet remain vigilant about preparing and mentoring the next generation for a better tomorrow. So again, never doubt that a group of informative, compassionate, and dedicated citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Thank you.
You have the honor of getting a double dose of Delta tonight. My name is Janice Lanier, and I am the president of the Central North Alabama Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta. To the Honorable Michael Crystal and all distinguished guests tonight, it is my honor to greet you on behalf of the Central North Alabama Alumni Chapter. As you celebrate your 104th year, I join you in honoring that fateful day at Howard University on January 9, 1914, where three visionary young African-American men joined together to create a fraternity that would result in a force of over 150,000 college-educated men. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity is to be commended for the great work you do in the community and the impact you're having on the lives of countless young men with your signature mentor program. In this day and age, at a time where our most fundamental rights are challenged, the unity among our community is more important than ever. Thank you for all that you do. May God continue to bless each and every one of you and the great organization of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity. Thank you.
Next, we have a representative from Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Next, we have a representative from Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Good evening. Good evening. Kind of feel like I've been set up tonight for wearing this red jacket, but you know, I came here as a guest of one of my dear friends, Mr. Carlos Long in the back, who's a Sigma man. But in the absence of my pole mark, Carla J. Chastain, I bring you greetings from the Huntsville Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. I just want to say I was pleased with this program, and congratulations to the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma on 104 years of all that you do. To your Honorable International President, thank you, wonderful speech. I definitely gathered a lot of things from it. And one of the things that's near and dear to my heart is actually mentoring young men. Currently, I serve as the GAIRAC director of the Kappa League, chairperson of Kappa League, where we impact young men ranging from third graders through seniors in high school. And it just does my heart well. I know we're living in some rough times where our young men are under attack. So anytime I see a program deliberately going after mentoring and developing our young men, it's always a good thing. I look forward to maybe some possible joint ventures because we know that our young men are under attack. But again, thank you so much for Brother Long for inviting me out, and a wonderful speech, and congratulations again on 104 years, and I wish you many more.
Thank you, my brother. Next, we have a representative from Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Good evening. Good evening. Protocol has already been established. My name is Gerald Lyons, and I'm the immediate past boss of Zion Macron chapter of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. I stand in place of our current boss, Brother Barrington Daines, who has had to go out on emergency this evening. But I can thank you all for giving us the opportunity to stand before you. It seems like all great organizations share the same mission, that is service. And I'd like to thank the brothers of Phi Beta Sigma for their 104 years of service. And we pray that you all continue to have many more years. Thank you all for this opportunity, and I pray that you all have a good evening.
Thank you, my brother. Lastly, we have a representative from Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I know she had to go out of town for a funeral. It's a sad occasion, but we do give her a round of applause. All right, at this particular time, President's moment, I'm going to pause that and give it to Richard for just a second. You can let us get an update on that money vote.
Am I ready to vote? Right now, the money bowl stands, and let me tell you something about what the money bowl stands for. I've done some calculating, mate. The amount of money that's in that money bowl right now is enough money to buy a lifetime supply of potted meat or whatever it is. Yeah. Lifetime supply. Lifetime supply. Well into the next millennium. Well into the next millennium. So, in that, somebody's going to use it for that, you know. You got a lot of us do a lot of that. So lifetime supply. Yeah, exactly. So right now, the money bowl stands at $553. $553. And we're still collecting a lifetime supply. Lifetime. Yeah. So that's where we stand right now. We'll turn it back over to the president, and we'll keep it rocking until we get it done. Thank you.
All right, if you guys attended our Founders Day programs in the past, we usually don't try to do with less than $1,000. So we got a little bit more work to do. Deep in your pockets, wives, tell your husbands, go and buy them tickets. And we'll have a good celebration for our winner and a good celebration for our scholarship program. So let's buy those tickets. Right now, I want to recognize Sarah Wilson. She's already been recognized before, but I would like for her to stand again. The South Central Regional Director. Sarah Jones McDonald, Alabama State Director of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority. I would like to also recognize the local chapter, both local chapters of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Would you please stand? Zetas from out of town that are visiting with us tonight. Would you please stand? And by the way, that's my first cousin right there. Right. At this particular time, I would like to take a second just to recognize our Alabama State Director, Brother J.T. Alexander Jr. Please stand.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Protocol has been already established. Our 2-hour international, 35th International President, Brother Michael Crystal. To our sub-regional director, Brother Roy Edmonds, who wished he could attend this outstanding Founders Day program, but he had other obligations at the Florida State Conference this weekend. It was the same weekend. He brings greetings as well. And to all the brothers of the state of Alabama, the capstone state of Alabama, we bring you greetings and congratulate you, the brothers of the Beta Epsilon Sigma, for putting on this wonderful Founders Day program celebrating 100 years of brotherhood, scholarship, and service. As we continue to move in the program and as we leave this place, many blessings for your travels, to your safe travel to your return. We also invite you to our 2018 state conference, which will be held in the Tuskegee, Auburn area. And we invite you guys to join us in that celebration as we celebrate 100 years for the Gamma Sigma chapter located in Tuskegee, Institute, Alabama, home of Dr. George Washington Carver and many more. Thank you. God bless and good evening.
Thank you, Brother Director. At this particular time, I would like to also recognize any brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated that traveled to join us tonight. Would you please stand? We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Hopefully you can spend the night, because if you haven't been to a Phi Beta Sigma, Beta Epsilon Sigma program before, Founders Day program, it's a little different from any other you've attended. We got Rhyme and Reason that's coming back up here. We're gonna roll this out, we're gonna move this table, and we're gonna party. Okay? If you like Frankie Beverly and Mays, if you like Prince, if you like Michael Jackson, for you young dudes out there, Migos, Future, 2 Chainz, that man can do it all. It really had the whole crowd really enjoyed them. Had a young guy up there, he's back tonight, he sounds identical to Prince. So they rap, like I said, it's clean, so we won't offend anybody, but they did a good job, and we look forward to them entertaining us tonight as well. On that note, I would like to recognize, and as I said, out-of-town people, my family. It's my family right there, everybody there, waving in. All you stand up. I want to see you. You stand up. All the way from Livingston, Alabama. All right? I said, when I was talking to Brother Harris, one of our co-chairs for this event, I said, Brother Harris, I'm in this booth again. I'm not going to do a lot of walking around. So the committee said, okay, the president, let your first vice and your second vice, they stepped up and said, we got it. We're going to take care of the international president anywhere he needs to go, anything he needs, we're going to be there. So I would like to recognize my first vice president, Thomas Morris Jr. Please stand. My second vice president, Walter James Willis Jr. Would you please stand? So now you guys see what I did. All right, at this particular time, I would like to recognize every member of Beta Epsilon Sigma Chapter. Would you please stand? Now, 99.9%. I can always count on. I know my constituency, so I know who I can ask to do what. 99.9% of these brothers are going to be there for not only me, but for this chapter. Perfect example, if you lived in Huntsville a couple weeks ago, it was cold. Saturday morning. I called Brother Trent Griffin. Will you stand, Trent? I called that young man. I said, Trent, my truck won't start. He said, Brother President, I'll be over in just a second. Now, it's cold out there. Trent up under my truck, checking my starter, with his leather jacket on, and he tapping on the start, see what start. Tap on it. But Trent said, I couldn't get it started, but I know who can. So he gave me his brother's number, and my truck is running to this day. But now that 0.1% I was telling you guys about, is just one in this organization that I just can't count on, that I know you're going to come through for me. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I said, brothers, we all got items to bring to our picnic. And I asked this one brother, I said, brother, the only thing I want you to do is bring the mustard. There's no hot dog, no, you don't have to go to Sam's. Just bring the mustard to the picnic. I have not seen that mustard to the picnic. And the brother I'm speaking of is your MC. That is a true story. I pick at Rich a lot. Rich know that he knows I can depend on him for anything I need except mustard. I love him to death, and give him a round of applause for being great. At this particular time, of course, people from the city of Huntsville should know Brother Will Cole. I'm not going to read this entire resolution, but Brother Crystal, would you come up? Whereas the City Council and Mayor of the City of Huntsville, Alabama, wish to recognize and extend a warm welcome to the 35th International President of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Brother Michael Crystal, on this 27th day of January 2018, as the fraternity recently celebrated its 140-year service, and under his leadership, modeled the international message of brotherhood of conscious men actively serving our communities. Congratulations. Next, I would like to recognize the entire committee that set up this particular program. Would you please stand? Awesome job, awesome job. And I'm going to do this one first, as I always call her my superhero. I'm going to recognize the young lady that came in and did all the decorating, and her family members. They always help us out each and every year. And I call her Superwoman. So, Superwoman, come on up. We got something for you from our chapter. And speaking of the brothers I can always count on, this young man is always here for this fraternity. He loves this organization, and better yet, he loves this chapter. I can call on him at any time of the day, any time of the night. He's going to text me, he's going to call me, and I wish I could recognize my entire chapter, but for 2018, the Phi Beta Sigma Beta Epsilon Presidential Leadership Award goes to Brother Montrell Flash Harris.
The dinner's done. It's time to dance soon. Thank you, everybody.
All right, at this particular time, we're going to have a band. No, they're not here yet, but we'll go ahead, keep the money bowl back off for the next 10 minutes. Then we're going to announce the winners of the money bowl. Then we're going to have the band over here, and we're going to get started. But we do want to have our closing remarks from our chaplain, but we're not leaving. Brother Brooks. Would you have a? You got it? Come on.
If you will, can I have one of our brothers, Brother Kendall, please come forward. Brother Fells, please come forward. He answered, yeah. He's a DCS. I'll square him away later. But ladies and gentlemen, this is our undergraduate right here, and this is our distinguished member right here. I'm not going to say the oldest and the youngest, but these are two distinguished members of our fraternity at this time, and they're going to assist me with cutting the cake. I'll blow out the candles. I don't think he has enough breath. Brother Crystal, you got room in your luggage to take me with you? Pray for me. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have these two gentlemen cut our cake. We'll blow out the candles afterwards, and then I'll give you my benediction. Good.
While they're cutting the cake, and we do want you to come and indulge with this cake. We got sauces, still got some forks available. I'll hold the copy for some more out. But we do want you to indulge in our 104th year of existence. It's the Phi Beta Sigma cake. But the gifts keep on coming. Brother Crystal, would you please come back up? I know, right? It says, citation, Phi Beta Sigma presented to Brother Michael E. Crystal, International President. Congratulations. This is for Brother Crystal. my chapter, Beta Epsilon Sigma.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our benediction. There's a job opening at this time. The man that I know, he's hiring. It doesn't pay well at all. It doesn't. But the hours are long. You're not going to get the reward that you may want, but there is a reward. He's looking for someone during the day, during the morning, and during the night. He's looking for someone to turn his back on America, as you say, and be able to say, follow me. He's looking for someone who maybe graduated, someone who may not have graduated from college. He's looking for someone to reach back and pull what was yesterday up until today. He's looking for someone to make stronger that may have been weak, or may have been may have failed, may have went to red. Many names, he has many names. But like I said in the beginning, doesn't have good pay. What he wants you to do is go in the vineyard and work the yard for him. The increase, the reward, it will all go to him. That's just how he does it. But it will be worth your while. I'm just going to tell you his name, and that will be my benediction. The man's name is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, in a human form. Amen.
All right. I do think I have my brother in the crowd and my sister-in-law. Would you guys please stand? Back in there, somewhere over there. Ladies all over the world. And the youngest lady of my family, the Portia. Please stand. To each and every one of you tonight, we appreciate you coming out. We ask that you don't leave, of course. No, you won't leave if you bought a Honey Bowl ticket. But we ask that you look forward to our next program in 2019. And if there's anything that Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated can do for you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank each and every one of you for coming tonight. We look forward to the band playing for about 10 minutes. We're going to continue selling Honey Bowl tickets. We're going to make the announcement. And those that need to go, please drive safe, be careful. But those that want to stay, we're going to party tonight, have a good time. Thank you guys for coming out.